What's up, YouTube? This is Pendragon here of Team Sanctuary Guards, and I'm going to come at you today with my Lawkeeper deck profile for the Kagero clan. I'm going to basically go over the deck list and tell you why I put some of these cards in here, and then do a little discussion at the end. So, first choice here, starting Vanguard, is Lizard Soldier Conroe. Very self-explanatory if you don't know what he does. Counterblast 1, and you can add one grade 1 or less Kagero unit to your hand, and you put them in the drop zone. Uh, for my trigger lineup, I run 7 crit, 5 draw, and 4 heal. The reason why I run 5 draw is because I like having a little hand advantage, and I don't think it's a bad thing to open up a Gatling Claw, because you're going to want to hit starting Vanguards a lot. This deck has a lot of field control. You can retire your opponent's rear guards a lot, and you want to take the opportunity to gain any sort of advantage. Like if you see an MLB player struggling to get his blaster units to his hand, and he goes for that Wingall Brave play, you won't have to guard that attack if you can just retire Wingall Brave. Same with like Spring Breeze Messenger and Criff. Do you want your opponent dropping Ezel on turn 2? Like that's just bad, because then they get Platinum Ezel out turn 3. They have a 13k beat stick, and a twin drive ahead of your turn. So that's my basically explanation for the grade 0 lineup. I run 4 perfect guards because I believe that after set 9 is released, everyone's going to need to run 4, especially with break rides coming out. You got Vanguards, hitting for 20, 30, 40k rows, and unless you want to drop 4 triggers from your hand, I would rather just drop, perfect guard and discard a card. So I think you need to run 4 triggers, or 4 perfect cards, sorry. I run 4 of the 8k vanillas just because he's the great booster behind Lawkeeper and Dual Axe at Limit Break. And even with Overlord at his triple counterblast, that puts him at 24k. That's a great column. Then for hand filtering, I run 2 Gojo and 2 Airmo. Gojo's a good first turn ride because if you go first, you can discard cards you don't want to have, like Dual Axe, or if you have too many vanillas in your hand, you're going to want to search for those more useful cards like Kimnara or Berserk Dragon. And Airmo, because he's the great booster and he filters all day long. You put that behind the Vanguard, and every hit you go through, you're going to filter. You're going to get more cards in hand. You're going to search out the deck for more important pieces that you need. Kimnara is good because Kimnara hits boosters. I run 2 of him. If they can't boost, they can't hit, which is good because late game, if they don't have the cards in hand to spare, they're going to have to drop, tyriggers to boost. They're going to have to drop whatever. And I'd rather them boost Palamedes with a 5k rather than a Toypical who's 9k. Hit Toypical all day, hit other cards that are important boosters for your opponent. For my grade 2 lineup, I run 6 10k vanillas. For lack of better grade 2 choices, and because you want to hit high numbers with this deck. So to ensure that, you're going to run, the 6 10Ks. I run 3 Berserk Dragon because this deck isn't too counterblast heavy. Lawkeeper's Limit Break is only counterblast 1, so you have room to use his skill if you needed to, even twice in one game. And he gets rid of cards, like Blaster Blade or Bedivere that you want to hit, because you want to hit those blaster blades to stop your opponent from doing his thing with MLB. I run 2 Tejas because Tejas is actually a great grade 2 ride. Like I said, it's important to hit their boosters because you can impede their progress that way and slow them down a lot. If you believe that hitting their grade 0 starting Vanguard isn't very good, trust me, it slows them down a lot. Unless they open with like the best opening hand with all the pieces they need, then I guess hitting the grade 0 won't matter, but most of the time hitting their booster is good because the booster's weak. They would have to drop a 10k shield, and if I drive check a trigger, they're wasted. They're probably their only 10k shield in hand. So he's really good. Only run him at 2 though, because you don't want too many 8k grade 2s running around. And you can also hit those rear guard boosters, but in the end, when you go for final turn, you're going to want to have high numbers. Grade 3 lineup, I run 3 Lawkeeper, 3 Overlord, and 2 Dual Axe. I run 3 Lawkeeper because 3 is enough. Do not run 4. It's too cloggy. 3 is good because you can, with the draw triggers and the hand filtering, you can get him into your hand when you need him. And If you don't know what his limit break is, his limit break is Counterblast 1. You bind all of your opponent's units until the end phase of the turn, and at the end phase they bring them back, but they can only choose 4. So if they had a full field, they'd lose one of their rear guards. And his secondary skill is when he attacks, if my opponent has 2 or less rear guards, he gains plus 3k. So essentially what you can do is you can limit break with him. Your opponent loses all intercepts, and they have to guard purely from the hand. And if you have, the 8k booster or, Airmo, let's just say Airmo because 6k is the weakest booster we got, he'll be at 19. And then if you have Dual Axe sitting in the rear with, Bar, that's another 21k column. And if you have Overlord in the rear guard and you use his Counterblast 3 with, Bar or Gojo behind, he's going to be hitting 22, 23, 24. So with this, you're hitting such high numbers that it's very possible for you to even swing for a game when your opponent's at turn 4. I don't run Rayopia, the 10k booster, because it only works for Vanguard, and there's enough 6k boosters as there is. The last thing I need is the filter into a Rayopia, because he's literally just fodder at that point. He's fodder for Breeze. He's not that good. Yeah, he can hit for an extra, stage, but in the end, you want to hit so high with this that it's not going to matter, because it's going to force enough shield out of their hand. Overlord, yeah, secondary ride target, because he is also very viable. He's 11k base, and his counterblast is actually really good. You can hit those weak 9k, like Bedivere. You can swing it, those 9k base for like 24k, force them to drop 15k shield, and if you drive a trigger, then you get over that, add it all, and then swing again. And Dual Axe, because he's great in the rear. That is basically my whole deck. I've been playing and testing various builds for Lawkeeper, and I find this build to be very good. I'm going to be posting some fight videos with my teammate Eli Knight and his Murakumos, so stay tuned for that. We're going to have some fight videos uploaded probably this weekend, because we are kind of busy. He's on vacation right now, and I got schoolwork for college to do. So, yeah. Future updates for this deck. I love Lawkeeper. In my opinion, he's one of the best grade 3s, if not the best grade 3 for Kagero. DOTE can restand with his Persona Blast, but he can wipe out the whole field and help swing for high numbers, which is why in the future when Dauntless Drive Dragon comes out, the break ride for Kagero, I'm going to buy a couple and put together my Lawbreaker my deck profile, where basically the idea behind Lawbreaker is ride him over Dauntless, and you got 20k. He can restand once he attacks by discarding 3. He's gonna you basically just ride him over Dauntless. He gets the 10k limit break, counterblast 1. Your opponent loses all intercepts on the field, all field advantage they have, all the units. He gains the plus 3k when he attacks. So when he attacks, he's 23k. Then, like I said, dual axes or overlords, whatever. I haven't finished the final build for that, but either way, basically get the idea. Swing for 23k. They have to guard all the attacks from the hand, and then you can restand him at 23k, plus whatever triggers you get. And then you have other columns that hit hard too. So expect that in the future. But I think Lawkeeper's a great Vanguard, and he's going to be extremely viable in the future. So yeah, guys, that was the deck. We'll do some channel updates. Like I said, me and my teammate are on vacation right now. We're a little busy, so we'll figure out our schedules. But expect more content. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you have any comments. Thanks, guys. This is Pendragon of Team Sanctuary Guards, and I'm out.